Let's prove the thing really fun. Oh, let's go. What time is it? Game time. Game time.
You know the joy that overcomes you when you win.
Wow. Bill Belichick called. He's impressed.
I can make the case for this being the best league in the world, and I don't think it's sentimental reasons.
Clique Fantasy Football Podcast. Brought to you by Mad Men. It's an interesting story, brand new television show from AMC. It's an amazing show. Don Draper, played by newcomer John Hamm. Unbelievable performance by this young man.
Not many redeeming qualities.
God, F Monez.
That's a good point.
F you, Monez. Horton?
Oh,
Yeah, good point. You got your script?
good luck, Steven. I bet Dr. Beck could come up with something like that.
No, well, that was what he said he's going to do. Hold on.
So do we have
I
music
got
for
him
this
on the
thing?
phone. Can he?
Oh, he's on the phone now?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Patch him through.
No. We should be able to hear him.
Horton, you there?
Cooch!
Yeah, I'm here.
Hordicus!
What's happening, fellas?
Wow.
What's up, man?
Have you played your week 3?
Yeah, I have. No, I haven't played yet. Who you play? You play Miami, don't you?
Yeah, I just turned it on last night. I got back last night and saw that it was advanced, but I didn't play it.
Are y'all talking about Madden?
You gonna Madden season together?
You went in?
I'm not very good.
You
Me
want
neither.
in? Oh, dude, don't let him get
I'm
you
not.
with that one.
I'm not. I'm really not.
Okay.
Yeah, because I play Kansas City next, dude.
Week 3?
Yeah, week 3.
Oh.
That's gonna be tough.
Wait, so does it play it like the regular season, like this year? So, like, when Patrick Mahomes gets hurt and he's not playing, will they play another quarterback?
Yeah, like if he gets hurt in the not because it happened in real life, but if
Okay,
he gets
so it has
happened in a
nothing to do.
simulated season.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Is like they actually
Now,
simulate.
if you're playing online or something, and if you're playing somebody online, then Patrick Mahomes will be hurt if he's hurt for real.
Why are we talking about Patrick Mahomes being hurt right now? Is there
Yeah,
something behind
sorry.
this?
Oh man.
Horton, who are you on the Madden season? Who are you playing with?
Baltimore, the Ravens.
Of course. Get the freak out of here.
Yes, sir. And you know the Madden cases are real because everybody done got hurt that's on the Madden cover.
Wait, what?
Horton, are you still
was on
talking
the-
about Mahomes?
Was Mahomes on the cover the last time?
Yes.
This time?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's on the cover this year.
Who was on it
And
last year?
Antonio Brown.
Oh, buddy. Bad news.
Welcome.
Who was on it last year?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, AB.
No.
I thought it
No,
was.
Yes, it was
No,
Antonio
it was,
Brown.
No, it was Odell Beckham. He was hurt.
No. I'm telling you. Do I have it
No,
down there?
it was Odell Beckham.
Last year?
See, he's questioning himself.
Antonio Brown was last year.
Antonio Brown?
Last
Yeah, you're
year.
right. You're right.
Odell-
It wasn't. Odell was.
Oh, yes,
on it.
AB.
Odell was on the cover, but it was like
It was
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. Antonio Brown got hurt too.
Yeah, I think he did. He was on my team.
He did some
he
hurting
got hurt
too.
last year.
And his career hurt.
But everybody been on the bench. I think everybody's been hurt.
George Kittle, he on there next year?
Ooh.
It'll be. I bet Lamar Jackson will be on there next year.
Oh boy, that's actually true. He
That'll
probably
be the
will
smart,
be.
That'd be a smart move by Madden. Go ahead and buy into the Lamar Jackson.
I hope he's not
frenzy.
because you have to tone it down and he'll get hurt.
Belichick, second time around. Part two.
Anybody want to take a guess at what Horton paid for Lamar Jackson?
I know exactly what he paid for Lamar
I do
Jackson.
too, because
I'm
I
going
tried to
less
get
than
him.
$7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might want to
Easy.
guess what the first bid was and who put him on the board.
Brad bid $1, and then Horton went 2, and that was it.
That was it.
Lamar Jackson.
2
Gone
dollars.
to Horton.
Horton, did you watch that bull crap last night, man?
I did.
You
I did.
lucky son of a gun, dude.
You watched it to the very end?
Oh, you talking about San Francisco and Seattle? Oh, you talking about? I mean, not San
The
Francisco.
Monday night game.
Seattle.
Yeah, Minnesotans.
Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, I watched it all.
Seattle. Terrible.
So you watched
I
it to the
did.
very end?
I did.
And
I did watch it to the very end.
and how'd you feel about 30 seconds left in the game? Let's go back. How did you feel about a minute and 30 seconds
Well,
left in the
let's
game?
set the stage here.
Set the tone here. Who's winning?
Horton and Legend,
Yeah. So
both at 7-5, both theoretically still in the hunt for the league championship. And like the whole game, I think they're separated by like 4 points, maybe 3 or 4 points. It's like, right, going back and forth like that. Legend has Vikings defense. Horton has Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook goes down.
That's right.
And when that happens, Horton is down by like maybe 2
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Seattle scores again because this is like first half.
Mhm.
Seattle scores again. So Horton is now up, right?
Yeah, he's up by
Like a point or two and some change.
he's up. Was it 1? 1 or I'm trying to think if Minnesota got another turnover in the second half. They did, yeah. So he was up by like 2.7.
Horton.
Horton's up 2.7.
And then the Minnesota gets a sack.
No, then Metcalf fumbles.
Oh, that's right.
So Minnesota picks up 2 points.
Legend back on top.
No, Legends down by
Legend
0.7.
down by
Yeah.
0.7.
Yeah.
Then they get a sack.
So then, inexplicably, Russell Wilson takes like a 20-yard sack,
Right.
and there's like 3 or 4 minutes left in the game, if even that. Horton's winning by 0.3. So like, unless Seattle scores again, and they're winning by I think 10. No, I'm sorry, they're winning by 4. Unless Seattle scores again, Horton's going to win because Cook is out,
Right.
so he can't get any points.
Can't get any points.
And
Legend's going to win, right?
Legend's going to win.
Okay, yeah, Legend.
So
Just going to run it out. Seattle's going to run it out. So, I mean, we've seen this 100 times.
so they're
They're up.
yeah, they're up
Yeah.
4. They punt.
Yeah, Chris
Minnesota
Carson.
Minnesota gets the ball.
Oh, he said his boy, Chris Carson.
Oh, the return. The ham return.
Yeah. So Minnesota gets the ball. They fast forward. They go for it on 4th down on like their own 45-yard line with
Right.
like 2 minutes and 10 seconds left.
So felt they had no chance of getting the ball back.
I'm sorry, there was like 2:25
Yeah, it
left.
was like 2:25.
Yeah.
It was before the 2-minute warning. I remember that.
They don't make it.
Don't make it.
2:25 left. Of course, Seattle's running the ball just to run the clock out. Minnesota calls their first 2 timeouts before the 2-minute warning.
Right.
They get the first down though. Seattle gets a first down, but Minnesota still has. They get the first down with like 2 minutes and 5 seconds left.
That's right.
Minnesota still has 1 timeout. So Seattle, of course, runs the ball 3 straight plays. They get the 2-minute warning break.
Game time.
They call their next timeout. So it's 4th down and like 7 at like the 30-yard line.
Punt it. Run it.
Yeah, 32-yard line.
Yeah,
There's
there are like 31 seconds left.
yeah, 31 seconds left.
Yeah.
Out comes the field goal unit. If they score,
Listen to Horton.
if they score, their score goes from 34 to 37. Of course, he buries the field goal,
Not even
and
a
Ashley
question.
loses 3 points.
My gosh, dude.
So Horton wins by like 2.3.
That's a huge
And
shift.
puts him in third
third.
place. He
Third.
jumps from 5th to 3rd with that.
Right.
Because
With 3 games left, he's 3 games out. Where you at? 3 games out of first.
I know that me, Deech, Tasker,
Out.
All-
Out.
yeah,
Jay Lee out.
Jay Lee's out.
That's it, though, right?
Because everybody else still has a chance.
Everybody else has a chance
Technically. But this week is the deciding week
for a lot of people.
for a lot of people.
Yep.
For like a quarter of the league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like I said,
so
Brad
so
again.
Steven can't
Hor-
Steven can't lose. Horton can't. Steven and you and Horton Am I right? No, Steven, you cannot lose anymore.
I cannot
I
lose,
can't-
and you
I
cannot
think I
win.
can't either.
You're in fifth, right, Steve?
You have to.
That's right.
I'm in
You
fifth.
cannot lose. I cannot win. So if I win, you technically would be eliminated.
Yep.
But
Me and everybody.
Jason, Jay Melia,
Below.
Horton, and Moniz would
God,
be alive.
Sucks, dude. Because my team's better than. I mean, like, what we all know, like. That matters not who has the best team in fantasy. That's not what fantasy's about.
No, it does not.
It's about who's the luckiest.
See.
Ain't that right, Horton? How you feel, Horton? 3 games
pretty
left?
Dude, I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm feeling the football gods were shining upon me. They smiling down from the heavens. You know,
Have you ever
I
had...
really
sorry.
thought I was done. And then it's another. I was playing for some money on mybookie.ag, and on the
Shout
other
out to
hand,
mybookie.ag.
yes, look,
We need a
I had
sponsor.
I had Seattle's kicker, and he kicked 4 field goals, and I won that way too. So the other person I was going against had Tyler Lockett, which he didn't catch not one pass,
Nothing.
and then he had Dalvin Cook, and he went down too. So that's how I won the other way. So I won both ways.
Wait a minute. So
So
you
won with
wait a
Dalvin
minute.
Cook and without him.
Yes, I did.
And played against him.
So you were playing against Dalvin Cook in
for
the other
money.
league, and you had Dalvin Cook in this league.
Yes,
So-
correct.
So
Go
what
ahead.
was your response when Dalvin Cook goes down?
Yeah, how do you react to that?
Dude, I was like, man. At first, I thought I was done with it. I said, that's it. It's over with. So I just kept on watching. I'm like, dude, this is unbelievable. I'm like, well, I can actually win because I had Seattle's field goal kicker, which he made 4 field goals. So I'm like, and then Lockett
Kickers
doesn't
matter.
catch not a pass. Period.
Mm.
I was like, dude,
Hey, man.
yeah,
Let's not get started.
look good that night.
Dude, congratulations, man. That's a big night.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so who do you have left, Horton, in our league? Who's left on your schedule?
I play
Does he know?
you, not this week, but next week.
Horton, I'm going to be impressed if you know these 3. If you know these 3 games.
I think Brad.
Wait a minute. So he only knows me.
No.
Does that say
He's
anything?
got that one circled.
You got
Oh.
8 other options.
No doubt.
Who's the other 2?
I got you.
I just looked at it. Not too long ago too.
I'm looking at it.
As
Is
the
it-
phone is being pulled out by
is it
Horton.
Jet?
to
Who does
check
he
it.
play this week?
This week he's got Deech.
Okay, yeah,
No, that's a win.
Deech, then you, and then one more.
Tasker.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tat.
he's got 2 dumpster fires.
Horton could easily go 3-0 here.
He's going 3-0.
Brad, you're first in the
Yeah,
rear
well-
view. In the rear view, you have Moniz, you have Jay Melia, you got Horton, and you got me. Right?
Right.
Out of those, what, 4? Who scares you the most?
Easily. Horticus.
Horton, dude, you said the fantasy gods were smiling on you. Have you? I mean, I want you to be honest here. Have they ever like frowned on you? I feel like
Yeah.
you get a
Yeah.
lot of bounces, man. I feel like if there's somebody in the league that has like a shamrock hidden somewhere up there, I mean, like
Shamrock keychain?
something, man. I feel like that's you. Rabbit foot.
Irish
Horseshoe.
heritage.
I don't know about that
McCourtney.
because I went on.
Give me the last bad luck you had.
Before I changed the
It's gonna be like 2 years ago.
Yeah, no. When
Before
I
you
was
changed your name?
Yeah,
Last year.
Last year. Basically, everything turned around since last year. 'Cause I was Optimus Prime, dude. About 3-4 years, I wasn't doing too high at all. I was almost in last place one time.
Let's be fair this year, though. Like, let's be fair. He's had Devontae Freeman go down. He's had Kittle hurt. He's had T.Y.
Kittle.
Hilton hurt.
Multiple games.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill hurt.
Tyreek Hill hurt.
That's fair.
Or hurting.
So he's had like
And you know what? And look where we're at. third place.
But yet here we are. Yeah, but that's the thing.
Third place
That's
with the
thing.
number one quarter with the number one player in fantasy.
For $2.
Listen, I'll go on a record and say I've already told you this, Stephen, outside of the program, that like I'm the highest scoring team in the league. I'll probably outscore the league by 200 points again, like I did last year, and I'm probably going on a 4-game losing streak to end the season. And somehow, some way, Horton's already calculated all this. He knows.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. Me and Brad play. I don't know how. So somehow we. I don't know how.
So that's the thing.
I can lose every game and then beat Brad. I don't know how.
Here's what's interesting. I've got the doctor owns me. Fair.
It's a high percentage.
Owns me in
Talking about
fantasy.
Beck.
Yeah. Beat me in the most heartbreaking championship that
It's
I've
probably
ever
the
played in.
biggest upset in league history.
Yeah.
What was your team record that year?
I think I snuck in. Like I wasn't like
It wasn't worse. Ashley got in with like a 500 record one year and won it.
I want to say that I was
But you
like
were-
one game above 500.
Yeah, you were there.
So he beats me in that championship, and then Horton's beat me in like 2 championships.
Yeah.
So ironically, I've got Beck, the doctor, Horton, and my nemesis, the man who averages about 75 a game until he plays me,
Is that Ashley?
legend, where he averages about 125. That's what's left on my schedule after I just lost to Jay Lee.
Well, for everyone out there who's watching this, we gotta go through the teams real quick. People who own teams,
I guess it would be a good time to do it.
people who obviously this is a league that we've been a part of for well over 10 years.
Dude, this is your 13 for the best league in the world.
13. Yeah.
That's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
And how much is on the line?
How much? Money wise,
Right.
0.
Yeah, it's all pride.
Can you imagine us playing for money?
That would be terrible.
Dude, me and Monez were almost fighting
Yeah.
over kickers.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if money's on that? First of all, Monez would not be involved. First of all,
I'm like
Do we want to go down that road?
I don't want to get off topic, but just a quick yes or no. If Monez won last week, would he be here?
Yes, he would,
Yeah.
and he'd be happy about it.
Hi guys, we doing the podcast today?
How's it going, guys? Everybody have a great Thanksgiving?
I got food poisoning, but I'm still coming.
Load of crap. All right, so go ahead, man. You were talking about the.
Well, obviously, there's multiple kind of leagues. There's, 8-team leagues, 10-team leagues, 12-team leagues. It's a 10-team league, standard scoring, using ESPN. Obviously, there's, multiple platforms that you can use it on. Our commissioner, Stephen Flowers, call him the commish.
Hey.
The decision maker.
Makes
Also
a lot of,
important this year.
very important. A lot of decisions were handed out this year. Some smiled upon, some frowned upon. All in all, though, he does things out of the fairness of the game. I mean, there's no lie about that.
It's very
Sure.
democratic.
I mean,
It's very different.
yeah, I mean, we vote on stuff, and that's typical. But I wouldn't want anyone else as commissioner.
Hey, I like how I sound. Hey,
He's about to break out in a song. The perennial powerhouse. Should we say this?
no question.
No question.
He owns us. It's his league.
I mean, probably winning at a good clip of 78%.
There's been 12 titles handed out. He's got 4.
He's got 4. He's got a third of the titles.
Well, how are we defining winning? Like just
With the championship.
okay.
Championships and
Yeah.
consistency.
Dude,
You're always
first
there.
of all, like you're at 120 wins anyway, also.
So
No one has gotten to 100.
right.
I'm on 99, FYI.
I think
Really?
I'm in the 70s
I'm
still.
on 99.
So your next win is 100.
Next win's 100. I may not get it.
Wow.
Oh, I need to break out some cooks. Got to break out the champagne.
Cooks or bakers?
Might get some bakers. But Brad Melia, a.k.a. Peck Shakers, probably the longest tenured name as well for any team.
Yeah, I don't like change.
No, it's
Yeah, he
good.
was
Dark side monsters there too, but yeah.
It's true. But
I
consistent.
did go Tampa 2 of them one year.
Yeah,
That's true.
he did.
You
One
switched
year.
it up.
Is that when you won 2
Yeah.
in a row?
Yeah.
See,
I thought that was the end.
but you're still here. I mean,
in the hunt.
And so 4 titles in 12 years. First place right now. I'm trying not to jinx it.
Yeah.
Like,
How many finals were
Well-
you? How many like fantasy
Good
finals have
question.
you been in
I know
that you
let's see.
didn't win?
Let's see. Doctor beat me in one.
So
I think
that's-
Horton beat me in
Yep.
2
I got you on one
in a championship, right? Yeah.
So you've been to the finals 8 times.
in 12 years.
Wow. Bill Belichick called. He's impressed.
So am I the Patriots or the Buffalo Bills?
No. The
You're
Bills,
the
didn't,
Pecks.
the Bills didn't win anything.
You're the pack.
True.
You're the Pecks. You're none of those. You're the Pecks.
Fair enough.
Next team, probably. I mean, I'm kind of doing this by talent. I mean, I think Horton's team has talent.
So
Horton,
he's
you-
next. You got Horton next for
I
this
don't
year.
think-
So just going through the owners, through the teams.
What?
Optimus Horton, aka Thanos.
You're saying Horton's more talented than I am now in fantasy?
As
I've
are we
already-
talking fantasy manager?
Well, I've already talked about you. I can come back and talk about you. That's fine.
I'm just. Did you just? I mean, did we mention?
I didn't want to go down. I didn't want to go down and
one
start
time?
picking people randomly. I was just
Yeah,
We can talk about Horton. You know what? We can talk about Horton because I was going to add another little feather in the cap as far as the evidence goes to how lucky this guy is. Horton starting this year off. We love you, Horton. Horton starting this year off was tied for Tasker with the lowest number of wins.
right.
Was he
Yeah.
really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. However,
Wow. I did
However,
not
the
know
old-
that.
however, he is the only other owner, the only other GM, whatever, with multiple titles other than the Pecs.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing.
I just got a knack for it because I wanted my add that I'm like in first place in 2 of the leagues because I drafted Lamar in all my leagues, all of them.
I'm honestly, yeah, go ahead.
Not lying. Like I'm in first. I play in 2 other money leagues. I'm in first in both of them.
So you play in a total of 3 leagues, Horton, is that right?
Yeah,
And
I
you're in
drafted Lamar
first-
in all 3 of them.
And you're in first in 2 and you're
And second
and
in
you're
the,
in the hunt for the title in ours.
I was
and
saying,
I got Lamar in every one of them.
yeah, I was talking to Brad earlier how I was surprised like you had Lamar in our league and was only 5th before last week. You jumped to 3rd.
Yeah, I had a lot of
Lamar Jackson has to be the most important player in fantasy this year.
But
Simply for where he was
Oh,
drafted.
But I will
simply
say,
for what people paid for him.
you know what's interesting? We're talking about Horton, and Horton considers himself the quarterback whisperer. When you think about his championships, he had Mahomes last year. He drafted
Oh,
him
yeah. You
for.
remember that
Does
first
anybody
one?
remember what he paid for Mahomes? It was
Mahomes.
yeah, it was little like
Yeah.
Nothing.
It wasn't a lot.
You remember Horton?
yes. It wasn't a lot. I only think it was double digits.
No, it was not
No,
double
it was
digits.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a double digits that I paid for my home.
Yeah, Mahomes, and then of course the other one was Vic.
Yeah,
Eagles.
straight out of jail. Nobody there was straight.
That was the
Who's
Chip,
your-
yeah,
yeah,
the Chip
yeah.
Kelly
Yeah.
Who's your
era.
favorite out of the 3, Horton?
No, Andy Reid.
Oh yeah,
Andy Reid.
Like y'all laughed at me.
he came back.
Horton,
Like y'all chuckled a little bit.
Horton, Lamar,
Yeah.
Mahomes, Vic. Who's your favorite?
Ah man, that's tough right there. I just got Lamar, so like I'm at the ride with. Never mind, I'm gonna ride with Lamar. I've been keeping up with him, man. He's like Vic
Wait a minute.
2.0, Vic
He-
on steroids.
He's already taken over Vic.
Did you just say
Yeah.
Vic was on steroids?
No, I said Lamar is Vic on steroids. He's like I watch
Hot
him
take.
every
Oh,
day.
he's like Vic on steroids. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so and then Vic was why Vic came to the game, sitting on the sidelines watching him. I don't know, I just like watching Lamar. So
Oh, I like watching him too.
yeah, I might have to ride with Lamar.
Okay.
So a quick side note, if we can. I know
Yeah.
we talked about this off the podcast, but so Horton, is Lamar Jackson stopped this year in the playoffs? Like, do they win the Super Bowl?
Like-
Do they get to the Super Bowl?
Dude, at first when I was watching, I was like, man, dude, Lamar is really good. Then I kept watching, and I'm like, man, this dude is awesome. Then I kept up with him. I said, dude, after you beat the Patriots, San Francisco, that was a great game. I really think he win the Super Bowl, man. He got a dynamic defense to go with the offense. Dude, it's gonna be hard to stop.
There's a 68-year-old small man who thinks he can stop him. Doesn't put a pad on.
with a hoodie.
He's got a helmet.
They ain't gonna have home field advantage. What, for the first time in 10 years?
The question is, like I heard this mentioned on a radio show. I'm curious what you think, Horton. That Belichick did not show his hand when they played regular season. You buy that?
I don't buy it. I don't think, because he had Lamar like a couple of times dead to right, so he just still, yeah, Lamar dead to right, so
I do.
a couple of times, and he still
I do think the Patriots.
still got out of the situation. I just don't. I don't know. I know Belichick gonna try to dial up a scheme and stuff for him, but
I do think the Patriots have historically struggled with running QBs.
That's true.
no, that's what I'm saying. And then they really ain't been playing like
I know
they
that
didn't play
because I had
good.
Cam.
Sean Watson, they destroyed them.
R.I.P. Ron Rivera. R.I.P.
The defense. So I
That's
really
fair.
think the Patriots defense really ain't play nobody to set the first half of the season. Now they playing teams that's good, so it's look like it's showing up.
That's fair.
Well, I'm going to blow through the rest of the owners.
Yeah.
We'll get to some topics. All right. So, Monez, not here. Food poisoning.
Wait a minute.
Team sucks.
Wait a minute. Are you saying he's third?
No, I'm just blasting
He's
through 'em.
just
Okay.
running.
So, when we talk about Monez, Michael Monez, call him Monez. Ashton McConnell's another owner. Call him Legend. So, you'll hear that name a lot. Zach Tasker, the storyteller, the worst record.
in league
in
history
league
at
history.
this point. He's got the least amount of wins.
Least amount of wins.
Well, he's not last yet. No, sorry.
No.
That's you.
Okay. And then Monsters of Subway, Chris Deach.
That's my
and
guy,
then,
man. I love Deej.
Stevens
Love
rival.
Deej.
And then
Or is he?
I'll be the last owner. Is that 10?
That's 10.
That's
Oh,
10.
Oh,
J.
J.
Million.
Million.
J. Million. J. Million and Jay Lee.
The scientist.
Sorry, two people.
The mad
two- the-
scientist.
the
Jay
two-
Million is a mad
The
scientist.
two smartest people. in
The two
room.
smartest people.
Yep.
Jay Lee's on a plane literally every second of every day.
Probably on
Yeah,
his
that's why
way
it's
to
yeah, Jay Lee's not
Singapore
here
right
because he's
now.
on a plane.
So,
So that's the dark side, and the MI6 is J. Million.
Jay May is behind a computer screen somewhere coding right now
he's hacked into NORAD.
for who we do not know.
So, Steve, you have any topics you wanted to go through, discuss? Brad,
Yeah,
you
man.
have some?
I want to tread lightly here because I made a bet and I'm a man of my word.
Discussing it's not off the table. You're not pleading for anything here. You're just discussing what's
First of
going
all,
on.
okay, I feel like you know, Deech, me and Deech have had our thing, our fling, if you will.
The beef.
The fling with the beef, yeah.
He is Monsters of the Subway.
I feel like Monez is my new rival, man.
Wait a minute. So
I'm not saying he's necessarily taking over Deech, but I feel like Monez is I think I'm going to allow Monez to be my rival.
so let me. So you
like that, Horn?
you have more animosity the week that you're playing Monez. Is that
Dude.
fair to say than the week that you're playing Deech?
Because I'm like, I've really got Deech the last few times we played, man. I think I'm rolling on Deech.
Got his number.
I think I've hurt Deech, man. I think I've hurt like him. I think I've hurt his fantasy feelings. Can I say that? Is that?
Have you put him to sleep?
I don't even think Deech is invested anymore, man. I think that has a lot to do with. I mean, like
This is adding fuel to the fire right here.
if
Let's
he
just
could-
be honest.
Yeah. Oh, come on. If he couldn't win it, dude, and the least he could do is like, well, maybe I can beat Steven. And he hasn't. Like, I mean, he didn't do it this year. I swept him this year. I don't remember about last year, but I'm like, I can't even keep it straight. Monez needs a whooping like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Monez needs a fantasy fledgling. I mean,
Like it's more visceral.
yeah, I mean, like Monez is so sneaky, man. Like
Monez is sneaky.
Monez will, dude. Me and Monez, we literally do. We go to Shane's Rib Shack every year, and like well, Brad came this
I was
last
there.
time.
Because I thought it was just you two.
For a while, me and Monez just did it.
Yeah.
right? Or Monez. So, but anyway, yeah. And we just, we sit over some ribs and we just talk fantasy stuff. I felt like he was an ally. I know everybody can't be an ally.
Yeah.
But then, Moniz will turn on you, man, and just
No, I must say you probably should have learned from my Red Wedding draft experience with Moniz about. Oh yeah, that's you know that Chicago's the Red Wedding.
I was in Chicago.
Chicago is where Brad basically
Did you declare love for a player
Players the night before the draft because
discussed it
yeah,
with him? Oh, okay.
because
Moniz is asking him about these.
Yeah, because
players.
I thought that Moniz was like I didn't think he would. I mean, everybody's open game, but I thought he wouldn't go get all of them. So he's sitting right beside me in the draft, and I bring up 4 players in a row that I had discussed with him the night before,
every single one of them,
and he outbids me for every single one of them.
There are probably guys that your team that year, your keepers. It's not like you're going in with $200 like we normally do.
Right?
You go in looking for gems.
Yeah, we're talking about like $2 players here.
Yeah.
He and I'd have been fine had he taken 2.
Yeah.
All 4. So anyway, I'm just saying like,
yeah,
it was sort of a he had sort of shown that side before. So,
I just need to know everybody's on the same topic with Moniz a little bit. I don't feel like I know everybody's place on kickers. I feel like I know Brad's, and I feel like I know Moniz's because he makes it known that kickers is basically why he plays fantasy football. And if kickers weren't involved in fantasy football, he probably wouldn't play. This is throwback to like Matthew when he wouldn't play because of defensive players.
Right.
So I know Brad's in favor. Beck, I'm not sure where you and Horton stand on the whole idea of kickers.
For me, I have no problem taking that position and adding, some kind of utility player.
QB?
Maybe QB2, maybe another wide receiver, flex option. But I do think that if we did that, and ESPN unfortunately can't do this, adding the points that kickers provide, because they do provide points that are pivotal for real-time games, and adding that to the defense. Because
special teams,
defense. But that's what it is.
But that's sort of the same, isn't it? Like, so you're saying if a kicker had 6 points, you just add 6 points onto that team's
You just add
defense,
6
special
points,
teams.
but you're not looking at having a specific kicker.
A roster spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, that's fine.
for me, like the bye week my first pick, we do an auction draft. We go in $200. We have keepers. So, a lot of us, have anywhere from $200, if you keep no one, to $18. You're keeping 4 big guns, a.k.a. Pecs. So I go in first pick always, and I don't mind saying this. I go first pick kicker. Get it out of the way. I don't want to have to deal with saving $1 or $2 for somebody else. Let's get it out of the way. If I don't get the guy I want, if I bid $1 and somebody else bids $2 and I really don't care, then fine, keep them. They can take them. But I shouldn't think like that about any position, but I do with kickers. So it's like I would rather not have to think about it and not have to think about it during the week if a kicker is hurt, gets cut. It's just
So do you think
it's a waste of my auction money.
So do you think kicker matters? Like, for instance, I have Justin
Tuck.
Tucker this year. He's the number 1 kicker. I'll admit I've always went after not necessarily the best kicker, but I have tried to get one of the better ones.
You have 5 in your head.
Does it matter?
I don't think they matter
Okay.
personally.
Horton, where you at?
I think kickers do matter. The only way I will want to get rid of kickers is if I could add defense players to the mix, like three.
Matthew's back
like
here.
3.
Matthew has entered the chat.
Yeah, for real, like 3 defensive players that I could choose from, like a linebacker, safety, or a cornerback or something like that. Then I would be for getting rid of kickers. But besides that, I think kickers do matter. Prime example, I won kicker kicked 4 field goals. I won by like 5 points. I think about 6 or 7 points because of the kickers. So.
But if there's a defense and special teams,
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only way is if I would want to add the points to like the defense and stuff like that.
Who is your kicker, Horton?
Lambo from
Lambo.
from
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I like his name.
Who do you got, Steven?
Waku K.
Oh, that's right.
Waku.
Doctor?
Will Lutz.
It's my guy.
Yeah.
My guy.
So your guy just because you like him, or your guy because
Well, I had him last year.
he's a good fantasy player?
He's solid. He's top 5.
I like Lutz, man.
I mean, you
He's
gotta
a good
think.
kicker.
You gotta think.
I don't want to dominate. I
What?
don't want to dominate the with the topic.
Okay.
Yeah, this
but
is the most anyone's ever talked about kickers on any fantasy football
Yeah, I feel
podcast.
like the other
I guess
kickers
my
hurt.
whole thing with kickers was I just feel like fantasy is super. We all know, man. Fantasy is super random. All positions that you're choosing from have some level of randomness to it, and I always felt like kickers were the most random of these positions. That's all that was. And I wasn't even really that gung ho about it until Moniz got involved.
So when he got hyped about it, did that make you more hyped?
Wait.
His passion for kickers just bothers me.
So,
man.
okay. But you were pretty passionate about kickers. Like
Was I?
you're pretty passionate about getting rid of kickers.
I was.
So the question is, was that before, or is what kickstarted that Monez's passion for kickers?
I think what got me so, because I know I was kind of anti-kicker before Moniz got involved in the discussion, but Moniz is, I mean, how else do you? I don't know how else you describe it. I mean, like his this deep-seated love, and I mean this passion, and he's no kickers. Why are they even call it football? And I'm just like,
They win football games.
Like there's, I mean, come on, man. Let's not overstate the importance of kickers. And I'm not saying kickers aren't important in the game of football, because they obviously are. I was just referring to just like the randomness of that position.
Yeah.
And how it's almost impossible you can, and I haven't, I mean, if we looked at the top 10 kickers right now, I just got a feeling half of them are going to be on good offenses, and then half of them are going to be on bad offense. I'll be like, what's his name? The Giants kicker was a top 5 guy last year, and the Giants,
because they can't score.
Awful. And then, Moniz tries to break down like his theory he has, like, I don't know, this formula he has for picking kickers, which I think is complete trash and BS. But I don't think
algorithm?
I think it's a dart throw. They're all dart throws to some degree.
Yeah.
I think kicker's the biggest. That's all.
That's a good point.
Never draft them, never have them again on my team, or any new guys like Horton. Obviously, man, you got Lamar. That's a big one for you, I know.
Yeah. Somebody that you wouldn't want to draft again.
Yeah, you got anybody like that? Are you like that? Are you like a never? You don't seem like that type of person. Like, I'm never going to have this guy again.
You don't hold grudges. Oh, Lightning just scored.
I got one person that I wanted. Brad had tried to give him to me. I told him why I didn't want him.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you know what I'm fixing to say.
Not this year?
Nah, yeah.
Wait a minute.
No,
Wait a minute. I had them. You
still have them, probably, unless you don't trade them.
Yeah, I like to. Hey, that's my name of my game. I love trading.
Yeah, he messed me up a couple of times, like 2 years back. So I'm like, dude, I don't care if he gets fully 100% healthy, 2 bonded legs, then I will never get him again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, wait a minute.
Who is this?
He's on my team, or he's on your team?
Yeah, he's on your team.
He's on my team right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You tried to trade him?
And I tried to trade him to you?
Yeah. Well, the package deal.
I don't.
Those packages.
Is Fuller? Yeah. Okay. So Doctor, the Doctor has Fuller. That's who I thought you were talking about. But yeah, Doctor has Fuller.
Peck's put together a great package.
Yeah. Will Fuller, welcome to the doctor's organization.
Oh, dude, you know what?
That's good. Then you're the doctor, so maybe you can fix him, keep getting hurt. So.
I've met him actually in Houston. He was going to the hospital. I was literally in the hospital.
Dude, here's the thing about Will Fuller though. He never got hurt at Notre Dame.
No, he was dude. He played there for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Came in as a junior.
3 years. Yeah. Never
was
got hurt.
in every single game.
Never hurt.
Beck, you still feel good about the trade?
You know,
Beck trade, so middle of the season, I guess.
Yeah, but you got to sort of describe the league.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
yeah, sure,
yeah.
sure, sure. So Beck trades. Who was it? Oh, Beck trades Michael Thomas, who was his
and your
best
mic's
player.
out.
I'm good. I'm back.
Were you trying to
I can
Michael
hear you.
Thomas?
I hear you.
Sorry, that's my headphones.
Did you say Michael Turner?
Michael Thomas. Big traded Michael Thomas.
Yeah,
I just said
Michael
Michael
Thomas.
Turner. He back?
Oh,
The
wow.
Bird?
And Tyreek Hill. You didn't even want him for. Okay.
Are you talking to
No,
me?
He's talking to me.
No, I'm talking to Big.
So yeah, Beck trades Michael Thomas, which was his best player. Fair.
By far, my best player.
Like the only worthy
only player that's
fantasy
been-
player,
the
worthy trading piece.
The only player on my team that had been in the league more than 2 years.
So for him, he gets AB, Antonio Brown, who was not playing at the time, but for our league, this is not necessarily a problem. Kareem Hunt and Will Fuller. Now, for our league, for our purposes, we have keepers. We have an undetermined amount of keepers, kind of an unlimited number as long as you can pay for them at season's end. You can keep them. So Kareem Hunt has value. Will Fuller obviously has value in a keeper league, and AB,
I think he has value.
if he plays,
Yeah, he has value.
absolutely has value. Beck, how you feel about it?
You know,
Because before, like a couple weeks ago, like all three guys had yet to see the field, right?
right. So when I made this trade, Antonio Brown had played in 2 games, technically. I mean, he didn't play for the Raiders.
But he played in one.
He played
this
in
year.
1 game for the
Yeah.
Raiders and 1 game for the
No,
Patriots.
he didn't play in any games. Not
That's what I
for-
was. I was saying he was on the team in the Raiders, but didn't play in that first
Okay.
game. Then was
Okay.
traded,
Right.
and so in week 2, or was it week 3? He played for
He
the
played,
Patriots.
He played week 2.
He played week 2.
Yep.
Put up a touchdown.
Yep.
Had over 40 yards receiving,
He had a pretty.
I
I
think it was
think
like
he had like 75 yards. or
something like that. So,
That was great.
so essentially, he played that 1 game. Obviously, the fiasco happened. He's no longer in the league, not playing.
Not employed.
Ranting about wanting to be playing, doesn't want to play, and so all this is going on. And I'm all about, my strategy is getting value. I knew Michael Thomas. I knew I had no chance to win this year. 0 chance. I'm in last place. I have no problem saying that. But getting rid of Michael Thomas for the potential of 2020 having Antonio Brown, who possibly could come back. It's not like he's retired.
No, it's
Kareem Hunt, who will not be on the Browns next year, who will probably be in the Dolphins.
hopefully.
Probably be on the Dolphins. And then Will Fuller, who obviously has a great connection with Deshaun Watson. Hopkins isn't going anywhere. If he can just stay on the field,
That's the question, obviously. Horton, you like this
got the
trade?
talent.
You like this
Mhm.
trade for Beck? You like this trade for Beck, Michael Thomas?
No.
Did you try to get Thomas? Did you try to get
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Thomas?
Yes, I did for the draft. I think I offered him 2 players for it. He was just like, nah.
Oh,
Okay.
before the draft or during the
Well, I
draft?
offered you Michael Thomas for Dalvin Cook in a package you did not accept.
Oh, Horton ain't
think
going for that.
I offered you Tyreek Hill and somebody else. And you was like, I text you. You were like, nah.
You like Tyreek?
Yeah,
Uh,
I offered him
Well, Tyreek
and
wasn't
it
going
was-
to play. But see, it's all different before the season.
Tyreek was already playing. He was already playing.
Yeah,
No,
you got to look at the timing too, though,
you gotta look at
because
the time. Like, that's my biggest thing.
Beck was already like 5 games out of first place
Yeah.
whenever
The
we
season
made
was
that
done.
trade.
So for me, before the season, there's all kind of potential. I mean, okay. My team wasn't great going
There was
into it,
potential.
Yeah,
but it's a different trade week 1 versus week 8. And for me, week 8, my season's over, and my whole goal was to get running back depth.
So you don't like the trade, Steven? Like even
I get
from Break's
if I'm Beck, I'm wondering, like, did you shop?
Did I shop those players? No.
Did you shop like
No,
Thomas?
he didn't.
I would. Now, obviously, man, best case scenario next year. Let's say AB comes back. Let's say Kareem Hunt has a gig all to himself,
Right.
and let's say Will Fuller, does what Will Fuller does. And let's just
Finds a miraculous doctor.
Obviously, man, I think that could be really good. And maybe this is just me, man. I know I like to send out a lot of different. Hey, would you like to do this? I kind of shop, and maybe you just buy. Maybe you don't shop, you just buy.
I know I'm the guy that like and probably a good point to bring up. I feel like I'm always like the trade devil with everybody in the league because I do so many trades.
But
guess
you put them out there. They wouldn't get done if you didn't put them out there. Yeah.
So, but let me be fair. Let's be fair to Beck here. Dude, Beck is like he put Michael Thomas out. How many years have you had him? Like 3?
3.
Yeah. He's tried to trade Michael Thomas numerous times, and quite frankly, that's why I tried to offer him something was because I was like, well he doesn't really like Michael Thomas.
Yeah, he's almost part of the worst trade in league history. He was almost in that trade besides Devontae Adams.
You talking about last year with Tasker or who was
Deach?
That? Good God Almighty, son.
So I mean,
so there you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a train wreck.
He's been trying to trade him for a while.
Who'd you give up that trade last year?
Give it to Deshaun Watson, Devontae Adams, and somebody else running back.
That's a franchise altering.
And you got who in return? James White, I know.
James White, who I liked.
Dude, who are we talking about, man? Did you hear the players that were named?
You know what? Again,
you said Deshaun Watson, Devontae Adams, and some other running back.
Jared Goff fooled me. Okay, Jared Goff had me believing.
And you said James White, who I liked.
that you tried to.
You know what? Let me shut up because like he hung like 30 on me this week.
You know what I just realized too? No, seriously, you know what I realized? This is pretty fun. So this week, me and Doctor play each other, and my 2 wide receivers are Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas.
Well,
revenge game.
Revenge game. That is gonna be a revenge game. I hope they message me on Instagram.
Doc's been playing well though, man.
I mean,
I got big
your
concerns.
team-
Big concerns this week.
But see, that's the thing. Like, this has been the 1 year, and my team's terrible in terms of like points, in terms of record. But I've been more engaged because I like my players.
That's a big part.
I think that's a huge part in fantasy. If you don't like your players,
especially if you're doing it like us and we're not playing for money in this,
right?
Stuff, so.
I mean, it's all about
and a keeper league.
Yeah, the keeper league.
Yeah,
because I mean, for me,
that's big.
It's not just this year. It's not just next year. It's the year after. Can you find a cornerstone? Can you find someone that I can pay $15 for this year? I mean, like Kareem Hunt. When he first came in the league, that was a gem. In the words of the town, that's a gem.
Listen, Kareem Hunt changed I was coming off of my worst year. I was like 5 and 6 or 6 and 6.
Yeah.
And what was the guy's name in Kansas City? His name escapes me. Where?
Christian Okoye.
No, Spencer Ware.
Spencer Ware. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
We were in New York.
Yeah.
And if you guys remember, we were watching that game on a Thursday night, and Spencer Ware got hurt, and nobody knew who Kareem Hunt was, and we're all sitting there watching that game, and I think we were all like, "Man, this guy looks pretty good." And so the draft
drafted less than 48 hours later.
Yeah, and so it's Beck and I, and we're going back and forth on Kareem Hunt, and both of us needed
It went to 22.
Yeah.
It went for a third back on the depth chart.
Yeah.
In Kansas City,
and he obviously, I mean, history speaks for itself about what he did in Kansas City. Like, completely changed my roster that year.
Yeah.
But so you got him back. You like him.
Yeah, I mean, but it's all about finding, like for me, it's about finding players that I want to watch or that I want to root for. Like Josh Allen they're having a good year, but their defense is great. I like watching him play. I think he's gutsy. I think he's got heart, like things that I like. He's not the most accurate passer. He's not the best quarterback, but I root for him.
You like watching him?
I like watching him.
I get it.
So
that's big.
Yeah. It's a gem.
I'm sorry, did you say Jim?
It's a gem. From the town.
The town, overrated or underrated?
The town, I think it's underrated. I think it holds up very, very well.
It does. I think it's gotten better.
I don't think there were 800 bank robberies in Charlestown, in a span of like 10 years, but that's just.
What was the numbers on that? I don't remember.
It was
an absurd amount.
Over 600 bank robberies.
How about that?
Over 600 bank robberies.
Wait a minute, don't they put that data up before the movie?
Yeah,
it's like a little
movie.
text.
So you're saying that's
how about that?
Inaccurate?
It's a small town in the Boston area. There's no way there's that. There's not that many banks in Charlestown.
Interesting.
in Charlestown. You know, Boston. It's a terrible Boston accent.
Jim.
Gem. It's a gem.
We got any player? We got anybody like, yeah, I love this guy. I got him. I'm you know, he's new to me and I love him. Or a guy's like, yep, I'm done with him.
Darren Waller. I'm all over Darren Waller.
Oh, you were asking
Keeper.
about.
You're all over Darren Waller.
I'm all over Darren Waller. 6'6".
Hunter Henry may be on my after this past
Never
week.
again.
Never again?
He might be on that list for me. I was so
Is he a never was?
Horton. Don't you start with me with Hunter Henry. Don't you start with me, Horton. No, like he's been consistent, man, forever. And like the 1 week that I need him to just be average, just average.
What is average for a tight end these days?
5,
This year's bad, man.
but 5 point like
It's true. I think 5 points is, I think that's the average.
yeah. Like if you get 5, you're not mad about it. You're like okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you get 1 for 12, you know, one catch for 12 yards, you're like, you can't.
How about 2 catches for 1?
Beck, are you
Tight
and,
end screen.
Are you and Mona watching the big Man City game this weekend together?
No, I don't think so. Well, Tottenham's playing Man United, so shout out the Spurs.
Horton, what would you have to say about Hunter Henry?
Oh God.
Okay.
Go ahead, Horton. Go ahead and tell him what the offer was.
All right, Brad offered. Brad is trying to get Mahomes.
No. This was earlier. This was earlier in the year. This is
Who is
This
he
was
trying to get?
this is
Dalvin
Antonio.
Cook?
No, this was Antonio Brown, and Antonio Brown, I believe, Will Fuller and Hunter Henry.
Yeah, you was offering them 3 for
Tyreek Hill.
Okay, yeah, Tyreek Hill, and was it Cook?
No,
Or
it was,
was
but
it-
it was another. Who was the second player? There was a second player.
Was it Kittle? It was Tyreek Hill and somebody else.
It might have been. Kittle.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
possible.
I think it was Kittle.
That's possible. Yeah.
So you know, me and Brad going back and forth with the discussion and everything, and I hit him with, you know, I said, man, dude, 2 of the people you offer me, like they get hurt all the time. He was, you know, we was going back and forth.
Oh yeah, it just hit me too. This is week 1.
Week
This
one.
is this is week 1.
Tyreek didn't play. Did he play week 1?
Yeah, he played.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, dude, I had Will Fuller for 2 years. He got hurt every time. Then Brad was like, well, he's healthy. He's gonna be great this year. I said, okay. Then he goes to Hunter Henry. He's like, dude, Hunter Henry's legit. I said, dude, he broke his leg last year.
No.
He's gonna be hurt.
Okay.
He's
You said he is
gonna be hurt
you said
again.
he is injury prone, and I
Yeah.
said, wait a minute now. I don't know if injury prone is fair for Hunter Henry. Like
Had one injury.
He tore an ACL.
1 injury.
Like,
You're out. He's only been in the league 3 years.
1 injury, 2 injuries.
well, no. Here's what made it funny. So he had torn the ACL. That's I guess what Horton's referring to as being injury prone. But here's the joke. So we're talking this like during week 1, and of course, Hunter Henry gets drilled in the shin, and he's out for like 6 weeks. And Horton sends me this text message, and it's just dying laughing like, told you so. Hunter Henry's just nothing but an injury waiting to happen, which is not
That's
true.
Anyway.
That's kind of a freak injury.
Anyway,
Dude, like
Tyreek Hill was also injured, might I add,
Yeah.
in that week.
Yeah, he get injured
Yeah, he
week 1.
did.
Antonio Brown was also playing at this time. This was
Right.
not Antonio Brown suspended. So
God, on the Raiders. The Raiders have played great this year.
6-6, babe.
Look it up.
They're 6-6.
No, I said looking up.
Oh, look it. I thought you said look it.
Look it up.
Yeah,
It's a gem. Look.
They got destroyed in last game.
Oh, dude, I was expecting that, man. At Kansas, yeah.
I thought it was gonna get beat like that though.
Well, dude, they got thrashed in Oakland against the Chiefs,
Yeah, it's
and
big
that was.
rivalry game.
I don't even think Tyreek Hill was playing that game. But at Kansas City, I knew it was going to get bad, man. And they've lost Carl Joseph, their other safety.
Yeah.
After Abram went down. Yeah, I knew that.
they're down both safeties.
Yeah, 6-6 though, man. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
So do you have somebody that you're like a new McCaffrey?
David Johnson's gone, man.
You'll never have him again?
Who?
David Johnson.
It's all about price. It'll
I don't, you know what? I
it'll
don't
all
say
be
it's-
about price for
I don't
him.
want to say it's. I don't want to say never again because it's because I don't feel like it's him. I feel
Dude, what's
like
going on there?
I don't know, dude. I think he's unhappy though. He tweeted something the other, like a couple weeks ago. Did I show you that?
Yeah, I don't think he's on the Cardinals next year.
He tweeted whelp
Yeah.
and then had the ...
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, he was a leader, second
I
year in the
think
league.
even Drake's getting all the carries now.
Yes, I don't get that. I mean, I think Kendrick Drake's fine.
He's not.
He's a
he's
C
been-
plus. He's a C
Johnson.
plus.
How many years? Yeah, how many years has he been in the league? 3. And,
Kenyon or David?
no, Drake.
Drake's been in the league probably 4 years.
So I mean, this is not like something.
Yeah,
This is not some
We know-
talent that no one's seen before.
we know who you are.
Right.
You were. We thought you were.
Who is that? Is that your Dennis Green?
That's Dennis Green.
So who's your
I don't know if the
Beck? You're talking about foundational players. Like who's your guy this year? You
Darius
feel like?
Geis.
Is it Allen?
Darius
No.
Geis.
Oh, guys.
I mean, for me, like with our keepers, obviously we do things a little bit different. It's not like you buy them for $1, you keep them for $1. You
Right.
buy them for $1 next year. If they were value of this year was less than $15, you pay $15,
Right.
which is fair.
Yes.
To me, it's
minimum.
To me, it's all about just it's a running back starved league in terms of if you have Ezekiel Elliott, if you have Saquon Barkley,
That team
you're
must be
sitting pretty.
good.
That's
That team should be.
That team should
Winning
be.
it
That
all.
they should be winning it every year, shouldn't they?
right. But what I'm saying, it's a dire resource. So you got to try to find that one resource, especially early on if they're rookies. Like this year was Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery. That's my strategy. Again, I'm in last place. Take that for what it's worth. But to me, it's all about finding someone that I can say, okay, I think Devin Singletary is going to be the back next year. I don't think Frank Gore's going to be there. I think he's going to be a third down back. He's worth 15. He's worth taking this year, stocking away, stinking it up, paying $15 next year.
I can see that.
Frank Gore done?
I think Frank Gore is
Yeah.
playing somewhere else.
I think he's done. I
I-
think he retires.
Hall of Fame?
It depends. I think it all. Oh, he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Horton? Frank Gore Hall of Fame?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
I think it depends on where he is in terms of yardage. I think there's a chance that he can get to second. He'll come back.
Yeah, he might.
Hey, while we're speaking about Frank Gore, wouldn't we be making a mistake to not mention first trade ever made in our league?
Dude, this is why you're here. League historian. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, me and
Jay Lee?
no. Well, yeah, it was Jay Lee, but who brought it up to me this weekend, believe it or not, was Matthew, Mr. Defensive Player Matthew. And, yeah, Frank Gore. No, it was me and Matthew that made the trade. And where Jay Lee got involved was
Oh yeah.
there were 2 people that were vetoing the trade,
For different reasons.
and they were vetoing it for the opposite teams. So one guy was saying it wasn't fair for one team. The other guy was saying it wasn't fair for the other team. And we were like, well, how's that even possible then?
Yeah,
So-
Frank
Frank
Gore.
Gore was
Who was the trade for? Frank Gore and who?
I don't even remember who the
Ah.
second guy was. No.
Well,
But that's where we basically, that was one of our first rules was that unless
Yeah.
8 people veto, basically everybody other than
Yeah,
2 people making the trade, then the trade goes through.
just smart.
Dude, we're ahead of the curve on that, man. Because, still, I mean, I talk to a lot of people, and they still have that problem with veto, and I'm just like,
Yeah, it's like four people
that was
veto.
our
It's
first
like,
year, right?
First year, yeah.
That was our first year.
Yep.
That's why we got Jay Lee and people like that in the league.
Yep.
Ahead of the game.
it's on a plane.
I had Frank Gore my second year. I know when I took over Brooks' team, Frank Gore was on there.
Wow.
The
Shout-
brick houses?
Shout out to
Brick
Brick Houses.
Wait, so you have her team, essentially? If we go all the way back, like you took over her team?
Yeah, I took
Oh, wow.
the first. I didn't play the first year. In
Okay.
the second year, I took Brooks. Yeah,
And I took over Trowbridge's team, I think.
Shout out to Trowbridge.
Well, no, Monez took over that team. Or are you talking about, because he came back, right?
Yeah, I think Monez took it over. Wait a minute. No, I think you and Taxer came in
And
as
had
like
your own
expansion,
team.
like
Yeah, y'all
expansion
had
team.
your expansion teams.
Man,
Yeah.
the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
And look what you did with it.
I won a championship.
And look what Tasker did.
Shout
with
out to Tampa Bay.
Hey, I
Will-
do. I do
I
look
love
at,
you, Tampa Bay.
shout out Tampa Bay. I do look at that me versus Zach, because we came in the league at the same time. Obviously, the league was established before we got there. And I'm like, there's a huge disparity in total number of wins. And Zach is a smart guy. He knows football.
What's his problem?
I don't know what the problem is.
Because if we say if I asked if we play 10 more years, will Tasker win it? I think the resounding answer is going to be no.
No.
Well,
I think from his reasoning, it's the quarterback. He's never had a top 5 quarterback.
oh, he's got quarterbacks.
But now he
lot
has
of them.
those. Right. Now he has
I can tell you.
that, but now he has that potential. I mean, again, it's all LUCK. I get it, but there has to be some game plan that maybe it's not working out. I mean, my game plan might not work out. I might not win one in 10 years. But that's okay.
Tasker, when we drafted in Tampa the first time, Tasker drafted 4 quarterbacks. He had rostered 2 running backs. One was Darren McFadden. The other
He loved
was
Jeremy.
the Washington Redskin backup, Roy Halou. That was his team.
Now hold on.
And he
I said,
loved
what are
Tasker.
you doing? I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to trade. I drafted all the QBs to trade, and he didn't trade one of them, of course.
But the Halou thing, that was because of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
shout out
that's
to
fine.
Tasker because he's being
Dude.
loyal to his boys.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, dude, that's your only 2 running backs on the whole team on your roster is Halou, who's not even starting. He was backing up.
Yeah.
God knows who at the time. Alfred Morris. I don't know.
Could have been Alfred Morris. I mean, yeah. If you had a gun in my head, will he win one in the next 10 years?
I offered
I
him.
would say no.
I offered him Miles Sanders this year for Jameis Winston. He's got 3 quarterbacks.
don't get
His
started, man.
his starting 2 running backs are James White and who is the second one? Does he have a second one?
Dude,
Did he
James
get
White's all
Gurley
you
back?
need when he's putting
Oh,
up
that's right,
30
Gurley. He's got
points.
Gurley. So it's Gurley and James White. Those are the 2 running backs he has. I don't even think he has a third.
No.
He had Stafford, Jameis Winston, and Tom Brady. I offered him Miles
Stafford.
Sanders for.
In a keeper league.
I'm still
And
sensitive
Stafford
about
hasn't
this. If you
played
can
in 3
tell.
weeks.
Yeah, I'm still sensitive about this. He said, "Oh, I like my roster. I wonder if he could use Miles Sanders now." Just curious with what's going on in Philadelphia, but
He's
I think
he's
he's got-
RB1.
I think he's got thing for you, man. When it comes to trading, he's like,
I think he does too.
I'm not doing it.
So I've actually heard through the grapevine that someone
Uh-oh.
heard Tasker say,
Our league has a great
"I will not trade with Brad." Now he denies
grapes.
it. He denies it, but someone's told me that he heard him say, "I will not trade with Brad."
That sounds like a Monez move.
Yeah.
Sneaky. Sneaky Monez.
So,
Well,
but let me say this though, in defense of Tasker, and when we can sort of transition into what happened this year for him to have such a bad year. But dude, you remember his team name was "This Is My Year." He got that because I said during one draft, Tasker, this is your year. He had a good team, man, for like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, I thought he was making fun of Jay Lee again.
What's that?
I thought he was making fun of Jay Lee with the
I don't know,
because
man.
everybody says this is your year.
But
could have been both.
but dude, like for 2 or 3
Cabin
years,
fever.
for 2 or 3 years, I think it was. I don't know if it was last year or the 2 years prior to that, but he had a really good team and was
Well,
right there at the top.
Leading up to this year, I mean, the team he had was the keepers were good.
So there you go. So and that's what I was mentioning about maybe transitioning to one of the things that crushed
But
his soul.
it would be interesting to see, I mean, what keepers he had, what the scoring would be for him right now with those guys.
So-
Because Gurley hasn't really, I mean, he's had a okay year, but he's not Todd Gurley of last
Sony
year.
Michel has been bad.
Sonny Michel's been terrible.
Mike Evans has been good though.
Mike Evans has been good.
Yep.
And Chris
Horton.
Godwin, good grief.
Horton.
Did he have Godwin?
Yeah.
No, he didn't, but
Jay
he
Lee's
wanted to
got
get him.
Horton, if we would have voted, because this tends to be, I guess this was a controversial decision, which I didn't really see it as such. But if we would have voted for Tasker to allow him to keep his keepers at the draft in Atlanta, because he said he thought he had them set. We had a keeper deadline. Everybody put
Computer
their keepers
malfunction.
in. Tasker
He said
claimed
it malfunction.
Tasker claimed computer malfunction.
He had saved it, but went back and changed it. But when he didn't hit save, it essentially wiped everything off.
And so, he, obviously he wanted to, he was lobbying for his keepers to be kind of put back on his team. it was brought to my attention, I guess, because I'm the commissioner, although I never have done anything without like a vote anyway. And I said I wasn't in favor of it, but we could vote. What would you have voted? Because I felt like the league would have voted no on that.
Dude, I would have voted no. Because he's the only person that malfunctioned. He got a computer. He's the only person that malfunctioned. Like, all us saved our keepers except for him. So you would think he would have went back and checked it again or something like that. I would say no.
I think
Well, he meant to check it. He had told himself, because he made a comment. Someone said something about keeper deadline. And he said to himself, essentially, we know when the keepers are. If you don't keep them by then, you're an idiot. And unfortunately, I mean, I would be probably the only person besides him to vote that he should keep them.
I feel that way.
Don't it say saved on it when you save them? Don't it?
Yeah, but we've all had term papers and things that we make mistakes like that to where it's like.
I'll tell you where I've never made a mistake, though, is keeper deadline.
Okay, but
That's a good point.
Let me ask this though: how many times do you think between when the season ends and the keeper deadline, how many times do you look at your roster for keepers? Just a wild guess.
Me personally, probably 20.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm probably more than that, to be frank.
And see, he'd already saved.
Good for you, Beck.
He'd already saved them.
I would have guessed
like
that.
right after the season. I think he went in and like did it first, like right after the season.
So if he did that, then he would have had to have gone in again.
He went in again to try to change him up, but hit the wrong button.
So here's my point: is I think that's probably pretty consistent with all of us that we're looking at it numerous times. If we're looking at it numerous times, how many of us also go in like the day of keeper deadline or the day before and look just to be sure that our keepers are set?
I mean, I'm always making last minute decisions like that too. That of like, should I keep this guy? Should I not? Because that's a crucial point. I mean, preseason's about to be, it's about to start.
Right, like it's
a completely different ballgame than it was 2 months ago.
Yeah, and football
Drafts
season is
happened.
like.
Yeah, drafts happened, training camps happened, everything's happened to where it's like everything's in full motion.
You're into it.
And now it's like, okay, do I really want this guy?
But so my point being though, right, like you're looking.
Yeah.
That was sort of my opinion is I think we're all looking. So for the excuse to be, well, I had said it, but then it didn't save.
Right.
Like, seems like if we're all looking at it multiple times, I would imagine you're going in at least one more time and, looking to see, hey, are my keepers set? Right?
Make sure it's squared away.
I don't know.
I mean, I understand.
Better safe than sorry. And that's what Tesker is this year. Sorry. And I say that after he beat me. He just beat me this week. 120 points. 67 for the number 2 scoring team in the league. Put up 67 points. By the way, man, if anyone just happens to be listening expecting for fantasy advice, you're not getting it. Like, that's not what we do because of stuff like that, man. I feel like, fantasy is mostly luck and, I play for fun. And we started this league as an excuse to kind of keep in touch with each other 13 years ago. And because everybody's doing their own thing, everybody was moving off and kind of spreading out and getting families. And we thought it'd be a good idea to kind of keep in touch. And that's why we play. And I feel like, I feel like it's largely due to luck. Like, it kills me when, people, I mean, I listen to these fantasy shows and I don't listen to them as much anymore. And I listen mostly for entertainment purposes now, but it kind of kills me when, all this advice is going out and the truth is nobody knows. You can put together the best team possible and set record scoring points for your league.
Heartbroken.
In 13 years, the highest point total in 13 years and end up in third place. So,
Can I say that I learned about myself last year when that happened?
Oh, I know you did.
Patience.
Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't positive. No, there was a lot. Yeah, there's some shameful things about attitude.
Not pretty, dude.
No, they were not. Vanessa learned some things about me last year as well. 1,900 points. 19. I actually looked at it today.
League record, right?
Yeah, I looked at it today because I knew we were coming on the show. 1,900 points last year. Like right now, I'm first in points. I've got 1,400. So I was like, well, if I score 100 a week for the next 3, I'm at like 1,730. I scored 1,900 points last year, and I came in third.
Luck.
Run down the roster from top to bottom last year. Starting roster.
Starting roster.
So QB was
Rodgers,
Rodgers,
Zeke Elliott, Kareem Hunt with the Chiefs,
Kamara?
Alvin Kamara. Saints.
it gets better.
Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins. Who was it? Who was the tight end?
Tight end was one like you wasn't.
I don't think that was like a.
It wasn't like a world beater.
Yeah.
Yeah, we owned you in tight end.
But just those alone. I mean, they were like top. Every one of those guys top 5 at their position, and third. You know what? Another thing I thought about today. Most important, if you were to take a guess, your opinion, most important statistic in all of fantasy football is
TDs, touchdowns.
Mine is points against. Talking about the luck, like it all boils down to how many points get scored against. To me, like it all. Like when you look at our standings, I was looking at. I was like, yeah, I've scored like points this year, but I was just looking at the data today. Shameless plug, data nerd, being an investment guy. But and interestingly enough, when you look at the standings, like I was looking at your team today, you've had a ton of points scored against you. Like your team is actually points wise is actually
not bad.
But you've had a ton of points scored against you.
I think I'm 6th in total points scored.
Yeah, I have not had very many points scored against me, and so here I sit. Whereas last year, like I'm scoring all these bazillions of points, but my points against it in certain games were, so
astronaut. Like you were losing a game 103 to 105.
Oh no! Oh, let me give you the real numbers. I was losing games 145 to 134. And the guys that were scoring the 145 were averaging about 75 a week.
Yeah. The blips.
It was actually Tasker and Legend that did that to me twice last year.
Oh, ZT.
Well, transition real quick, man. We talk about how, and I feel like I can make the case for this being the best league in the world, and I don't think it's sentimental reasons either. Now, I do think that case is getting a little bit harder to make the longer we hang on to kickers. But I do feel like I can make an argument because everybody feels like their league is the best. Well, I will say that some people hate their league that they play.
Yeah, some people just do it because it's literally something to do.
But real quickly, man, make your case why you feel like this is the best one.
I mean, for me, you discussed the connectivity of people. I mean, obviously, some of us have lived in Florida, California. We're all from a small town, Cartersville, Georgia. And I don't know, we all didn't even go to high school together, but we just became friends, through sports or through family. And it's just a way for us to get together. And we definitely do things a little bit different. I mean, when I was living in Los Angeles, I would tell my friends that, oh, yeah, I'm going to Manhattan for my fantasy football draft. And they're like, what? Like, you're going for vacation? I was like, no, I'm going for my draft. Like, solely for my draft. Because I think I went to Vegas, and I was in LA, I went to Vegas and New York. And they're like, so you go somewhere for 3 days.
That's it.
With friends.
That's it.
Just to draft players for your fantasy. I was like, yes.
That's the excuse we use.
Right.
I mean, but it's kind of necessary. I mean, call it a boys trip, call it whatever you want. I mean, it's something that brings us together, and it's all in good fun most times. So, but
unless we're talking about kickers,
or cake,
or cake,
yeah, or wives, or ex-wives,
yeah,
making cakes.
But
never mind.
Like next year, I mean, Dublin. I mean, I'm going to be gone for the whole week before, but I mean,
with somebody in the league, right? With Tasker,
and with Thomas, and I mean, obviously anybody else who wants to go, but I mean, not a lot of leagues are looking to do that. It's kind of like, I mean, I've had friends tell me like, oh, my draft's tonight. I really don't want to do my draft.
Oh man,
Ugh.
can't
I
wait.
don't even know who to pick.
One of the funnest weekends of the
It's
year,
like,
man.
Isn't
oh,
draft weekend like what Christmas used to be for us now?
That's
I
exactly.
think
what
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, and that's something to look forward to every year. And I mean, and we do it in a way that we always pick something, new every year. We always have a discussion about it. It's all, everyone gets an opportunity to put something out there. I mean, this year it's obviously big. Notre Dame's playing Navy.
Right. Go
Even
Irish.
even as a USC fan, I'm going
Go Irish.
supporting because some of my best friends love Notre Dame, and I want to be there and experience that with them and do a fantasy football draft. Literally in a country where if I said fantasy football, they're going to think soccer. So that's different.
I'll piggyback on that, man. Obviously, I love the traveling. I love that we've been to, New York, San Francisco, Vegas, Chicago, Tampa, all these places, man. Just to do our draft. These new cities for a lot of us. A lot of us hadn't been to some of these cities and just spending the weekend there.
Do you have a favorite? Hot take.
I love Vegas, man. I love it. I don't know what it is. I like Vegas. It's hard. It's hard to put it because that was the first big trip I think we did. Like
Vegas.
we traveled to Tampa, but then we were
Right.
like, all right, we're going to Vegas.
But me and Jason were living there. So that was like,
Yeah,
it wasn't all of us were like going
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember Vegas, man. Just like everybody loading up on the plane, and I remember seeing Jay Lee in the airport, and I'm like, I left school early that day.
He's still in school, everybody. It's cool.
Teaching, left the kids.
We should tell everybody when you get done, we should tell everybody what everyone does. So that I guess I'll speak on that in a second.
All right. So yeah, I just remember saying, I'm like, man, we're here. I'm loading a plane to Las Vegas for a fantasy football draft. So I thought that was pretty cool. But on top of the traveling, man, and all that, and just keeping in touch with everybody, I really like our format, the rules, and everything. How we have it set up. I think we got a nice balance of like a traditional league and like keeper league, and we're not a dynasty league. And I don't know how I would like the dynasty leagues. But we're kind of, I always felt like we've been a hybrid because we can keep as many players as we want as long as we can pay for them in the auction. Some players, some of us choose to keep no players. Some of us choose to keep 6. Some of us choose to keep 2. And it's just a different dynamic. It's just hard to prep for. It's hard to prepare for. It's hard to figure out what your opponent's going to do. And I like the different dynamic that it brings. And it's not, we don't do the snake draft. So it's like if you really want a player, you can get them as long as you pay for them. It's just how badly do you want him? How bad did you want Saquon Barkley? Beck thought he wanted him. J. Melia wanted him more. Goes for a record
$105.
$105 out of $200 auction.
Good Lord.
So anyway, and now look, he's been on. Oh well, that's right. J. Melia got him. And then he's on with the Pecs. But anyway, so I like that dynamic that we bring. I like the fact that we can contract players and we can, I've had Cam Newton for, since his rookie season. I think I traded for him when he was a rookie. Had Julio since his rookie season. And so I just, I like that aspect of the game and of our league and how we have it set up like that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty. I don't hear a lot of other leagues doing like contracts and I hear keeper leagues, but it's usually like 2 keepers or 4 keepers. It's
Right.
not unlimited.
Or dynasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or it's dynasty. It's
One
not
team.
somewhere in between. So that's something unique, I think.
I guess I'll piggyback a little bit off of what Beck said, which is the friendships. But I think the thing I like the most about it is really the diversity of our group.
Which is not seen here on the video.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
But over the course of in diversity in a multitude of ways, diversity in political ideas, diversity in religion, diversity in skin tone,
Yeah.
you name it, right? Like diversity in what we do. So I mentioned I myself, financial planner, Dr. Beck, dentist, Stephen Flowers, teacher,
Leader.
Educator, professor.
Yeah.
Professor of middle school.
Horton,
Oh,
Yep.
tell
Are
me
you
what
with
you
us?
do. Tell me what you do,
tell
Horton.
them what you do, Horton.
Bro, you might have the most exciting job out of all of us.
Yeah, the recreational director at a prison. So we do like exercise plans for like the elderly. Got intramural sports going on for the young people. Got arts and crafts, talent shows. Got all kind of stuff going on in the prison to keep people healthy and from not killing themselves.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's a little
That's
bit different day than a financial planner or a dentist or a
Yeah.
teacher, right? But yeah. Then we got the two smartest guys in the league. Jay Lee, who IT security at
Yeah.
a very high level for large
Sees things in the Matrix.
firms, travels all over the world. Jason, aka MI6, aka the Manhattan Project, who does coding.
I was gonna say I'm not even sure what he does.
I don't think anybody really knows it.
Has he,
We don't
Has
understand.
he killed anyone?
I don't think we can understand what he does. Literally,
I could not understand it.
yeah.
at all.
Tasker, bank teller, Deech. Here's an awesome one.
Oh,
Turn into ESPN on the World Series of Poker. He's a poker dealer, card dealer.
God, I wish Deej was here. I always found that job fascinating. God, he'll tell me. He's like, no, you wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
Wait till Rounders 2 is being shot in Atlanta. He'll be there.
Oh yeah. No bills on.
Koppelman's going to be making a phone call.
Let's not
Honey
leave
Deech.
out. Let's not leave out Ashley, aka Legend,
Mhm.
who is a model, who is
Actor.
an actor. Tune into Fox TV shows. You'll catch him there. Tune into some movies.
Is he still in Ballers? Is he still doing Ballers?
I don't think he's on this current season.
It's
What?
the final season.
Yep. Is it really?
Final season Ballers.
Am I leaving anybody out?
Moniz.
And Moniz, who does counseling.
Yep.
So, I guess my point being what makes it so unique is that we get along so well. There's been a lot of people like outside of our group talk about, man, how did you guys get together? And, your personalities, your backgrounds, your belief systems being so different, how you guys can just get together for a weekend and have a great time. I think it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
Horton, you got anything on this? Uh-oh.
Just y'all basically said everything, man. Just
Yeah.
chill, y'all grew up together, from Cartersville. Like Brad said, the diversity and everything. Just having a good time, man. It's always good to see y'all, man. Just we can not talk for a while and not see each other. Then once we see each other, it's just like we ain't never left. Like we still all stay in Cartersville and talk all the time. It's always been like that.
Yep.
Are we bringing Super Tecmo Bowl to Ireland? We're gonna.
I'm not
Horton
playing
wants
video games in Ireland.
no piece of that, buddy.
Man, look, the only reason is because I remember the first time I changed my playbook,
Oh,
and
my
that's
God.
why when
Yeah,
we was in
that's called
Chicago, I
cheating.
didn't change.
That's
Yeah.
called cheating, Horton.
Yeah, I forgot to change my playbook in New York. That's how you beat. So
How many plays are on Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl?
it was like, is it 3 or 4?
Dude, that was me on Horton the last time we were in Chicago.
We've got guys
Or-
dropping the gloves in the Lightning Nashville game.
That
Go
was
Bolts.
that was QB Eagles thumping Horton's head.
Went down.
Yeah, I got destroyed in that. What we was in New York that time?
Yeah, we was in New York.
Yeah, I got destroyed.
That was the night of the McGregor fight, and
Who was McGregor?
McGregor and
Yeah.
terrible. Mayweather, terrible.
And Chicago's where Moniz met his match in the
Moniz.
CPU against
Moniz gets
in
thrashed.
Tecmo Bowl, correct? Oh, you weren't there
I
for
wasn't
that?
there. Yeah.
Moniz was getting beat. Was it like 53 to nothing against the computer?
50-3 computer.
The CPU's tough.
Thrashing Moniz.
Yeah.
He hated it. I loved it. I love it even more.
Yeah.
I'll take out that picture sometimes just to look at it when I start thinking about his passionate love for kick. You know what? It's fitting. He only had 3 points. It was a field goal.
I didn't even think about that.
He was probably down 50-0 and kicked the field goal.
Fourth and 2 from the
No.
from
First
the
and 10.
15.
First and 10 from the 15. I'll
He
kick
kicks
it.
a field
Ask him,
goal.
hey, how'd you feel about that game? Loved it. Kicked the field goal.
A moral win.
for the win.
Mona's a moral win guy.
So wait, so just to be, so we're on the record now that is Monez your rival?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So it's no longer monsters.
No, well, he's always, man, Deech is always going to be there. But, I've kind of put Deech on the back burner. I've got multiple rivals now. I can handle it. I'm the commish.
So it's Deech and
Monez.
Yeah.
But Deech is on the back burner because I'm a little concerned about Deech, dude, fantasy wise. I don't want to get the call one day and he'd be like, I'm out.
Do we have a villain in our league?
Deech. Well, it was Deech. I wouldn't say it is anymore.
yeah.
But Deech is
Has he turned? He's turned around.
well, he's just become irrelevant.
Hot take.
Who do you we've talked about this before. So when you're going to play somebody like next, who do you, I don't want to say fear the most, but who do you dread playing against the most? Like, who do you think, if it bad can happen to me this week, it's going to be this week?
It's Horton for me, and it's no question. It's not even close. Horton, I want to know who you feel that way about. If any, probably nobody.
No, probably Legend. Legend be thumping me every time.
That's mine.
I know I just won,
That's 2
but
votes.
he usually wins.
That's mine.
So it's
That's mine.
yeah.
That's 2 votes for Ashley.
When I face Ashley, he could be projected for 65 points. Wouldn't matter to me. I literally all week think I'm about to lose by probably 35.
Mine would be Jay Million.
Interesting.
I mean, I feel like last year I don't know what our records were, but I felt like he always overperforms when he plays me.
Don't you love Jay?
And like week 1, like I went to bed, I was winning. Games are over.
Oh God.
Games are over. Like it's Tuesday morning.
Right.
Wake up, I lost about 0.1, something like that.
Stat correction.
Stat correction.
Yeah.
The worst, by the way, stat correction.
I don't think I've ever lost on stat correction.
Yeah,
No.
it was because I talked to you the next week, like the next week,
And
you're
I
like-
thought you
you're
had
like,
won.
Yeah, you're like, dude, what are you talking about? You're 1-0.
Right.
I'm like, no, I got
Every
stat
day,
correction.
no Horton stoppers. Huh.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Tasker.
so he was doing that. Yeah.
Tasker. I don't know that if he considers it a rival, but that's mine. Like I got a thing for when I play Tasker. Like
You amp it up.
yeah, like I got some extra attention. Like I extra want to win when I'm playing Tasker. Because I feel like for a long time he's had a thing for me, man.
Even after the cake. I mean, next year, I didn't know how bad it was.
No, it was.
I think Brad's got a few.
Yeah, for a few years there, man. You never overtook Tasker.
Yeah.
But I was pretty mad about that cake.
Yeah.
I was pretty mad about the cake because there's a couple things that happened. First, Steven gave you that championship.
He did openly jinxed it.
He did.
Oh, dude, that's
He you know what I just thought about this. Wasn't it congrats on number 5?
Congrats on number 5. That
So
was the text.
so I have not won since then. So you congrats on number 5
It's changing this year.
in the next. There it is again.
This is
There it is
recorded,
again
too.
for the record.
It's going down this year, though.
15 minutes later,
Literally.
15 minutes later, Marshawn Lynch romps.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson scrambles for like 55 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And
It's over.
I lose. So
I won those trades that year.
so
Traded Peyton for Marshawn.
the doctor. Now you think about this, Horton. Multiple championship winner, Horton. You know the joy that overcomes you when you. We've all been there, right? It's on the podcast when you win. Instead of celebrating, this is what sent me flying. Instead of celebrating, instead of going out having a nice dinner with his lady friend, celebrating the joyous
They stayed
victory.
in. They stayed in.
Oh, they did. And what do they do immediately after the game ends? Because I got the photo within about 45 minutes after it was over. After I sent him a congratulatory text, responds with nothing. I get a picture back of a cookie cake with him and his significant other that says,
It was yellow. It was yellow cake.
"Suck it, Peck Shakers."
Suck it, Peck.
And all I could think
Suck it, Peck.
all I could think about was, This guy doesn't even care about winning this championship. He's literally just glad that I've lost. Not only was I, but Vanessa, as she has told him,
Yeah.
was smoking mad.
Yeah. Made some enemies that night.
Nashville just scored, by the way.
I mean,
Fitting.
yeah.
So let's
As
see.
we're
This
talking-
year's been jinxed again. I'm reminded, and I'm angry if you can't tell, about Doctor and his cake, and Nashville's just scored on my Bolts. Great.
I thought the cake was great. I mean, I thought it was the best thing to happen to the. Well, it was a great thing for the league because I think it created some conflict.
It did.
It was good. It was in good nature, but I had no idea until I think probably a year and a half later, like how it, affected you and Vanessa.
I was angry.
I was like, because I hadn't seen her in forever. The first time I see her is like, oh, made that
So-
cake. And it was like last year. She's like, made that cake. Still not happy with you. I was like, oh, sorry.
So
I
do you,
really didn't mean it.
do you understand from this perspective? Like, yeah, it's just fun and games, and it is fun and games. But the idea that your thought process is not on victory, it's on
A big time,
loser.
a big time gloat of someone who lost it. I mean, granted, like I thought
that's fair.
I didn't think I was going to win it, especially, all the games were played. I had 2 guys,
Right.
and all of a sudden, within 10
Yeah.
minutes, it was like, oh, now I've won.
I'm sure I was. Matter of fact, I know I was extra sensitive because of the way that I lost. I mean, it's a gut wrenching,
it's
gut wrenching
bad,
way
man.
to lose.
It was bad.
By the way, Bolts just scored
Oh, there you
2-1.
go. There you go. Things looking up.
2-1.
Things
No,
looking
wow.
up.
Positivity. We've moved past it.
Positivity.
We
We've
moved-
moved.
we
We've,
What'd you say, Horton?
we've moved
We
past
moved
it.
past it.
We voted on something last year that we didn't follow through with.
What's that?
Somebody last place when
Hey, come on now.
they didn't do the last. That was supposed to happen last year.
That was supposed to
It's
happen.
supposed to be Jay
in-
Lee.
That was supposed to happen in Atlanta.
In
Jay
Atlanta.
Lee.
Yeah.
Now, to my, I will say, I think I was supposed to pick up the wolf mask, and didn't.
Are we making someone do that in? No, we're
Oh,
not.
my
We're not
God.
making somebody do that in Ireland, right?
I mean,
why
it will
not?
be me. I mean,
Beck wants to do it. That's the thing.
No, I'm-
they supposed to wear it when we supposed to go eat.
nah,
That's right. That's right.
Well,
Exactly. I'm gonna bring a bowl for him. I'm gonna bring a bowl and sit at the table. That's how you can eat your shepherd's pie.
Can you put that in a bowl
And the waitress is gonna say, "Who? What is that?" We're like, "That's the worst wolf ever.
with a bowl
That's the
say
last place.
will
It's
the
the
bowl say
worst
last
wolf of
place?
all time." That's how we gotta get you the little paws,
Yeah,
a
we
little
gotta get
hairy
the
hand,
hands.
and like
Yeah,
you gotta walk with the group and just like randomly.
I bet,
"Ooh."
I bet that starts awesome discussions though with some
Oh man,
Irishmen.
it's gonna be fantastic, man. It's
So
gonna be fantastic.
I'm on the record that Tasker is going to finish in last place this year.
He's only 1 game above me, so
He's going to finish in last.
we're going by record or points.
We go by.
We're all well. I guarantee you, we're never going by points.
All right.
We go by record.
Well, I mean, I got 3 weeks. I can.
Who you
make
got?
that
Who do you
happen.
got on your schedule? Me, then who?
I honestly don't know. I have no idea. I look at week to week. I mean, that's it.
You talking about? Well,
Good point, though,
Who I have
Horton.
to play.
I
mean, I don't mind wearing. I mean, that's something that other leagues do, like tattoos or, just other, methods of embarrassment to where, I mean, I'm not going to make someone get a tattoo because they get last place
No.
in fantasy football. That's
Not that serious.
No, I'm not 20 years old.
I'm all for it.
You're all for it.
I'll do it.
I'd like the nude.
Whoa,
Nude?
The nude. Well, I mean, yeah.
What nude photo are we
I
talking
like the nude.
I like Vanessa nude.
about? Oh, shout out.
No, but the nude photo. It was like
Wait, what was this thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was your idea.
Oh, yeah.
That was your idea,
That was my
Kamish.
idea.
You've already blacklisted it? What was it?
What was it for real?
Look at Kamish trying to put that off
no,
on
no,
me.
no.
when
That
it
was
his
me.
idea.
That was me. But I think we were like supposed to take it and then like cover up or something like that. We'd be like,
Yeah, we're not like going.
I mean,
Yeah.
we would be nude with like, something over the nether, the nether region, like
I'll do the wolf. And for the rest of
like a
humanity,
fur.
and for the rest of humanity, I'll do the wolf versus that idea.
Yeah, we are.
Scared, scared of nothing.
You don't want to show that body off?
I've been working out.
All right.
We'll see how it's coming. We'll see how it's coming along. But
You know somehow that would get out. We'd lose a job.
yeah, man, I work on kids.
Probably wouldn't be. Probably wouldn't.
Last
There's
thing
my investment advisor.
oh, that's my dentist. That's awesome.
Was that your? Is that your teacher, Ricky?
Yeah.
That's your social studies teacher.
That's your
Oh, boy.
flowers? What?
Oh, we can do that with a.
Yeah, the wolf costume. That'll be easy now.
Is Ruiz and Joshua fighting again?
Yeah, rematch.
I got Ruiz again.
Yeah, I'm taking Ruiz as well.
Horton, you watch boxing too,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yep.
You got Ruiz again in the rematch.
Yes, I do.
Man.
Y'all saw that Deontay Wilder and Ortiz fight.
Oh yeah.
The right hand's strong with that one.
Wilder's a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The right hand is strong.
I want Wilder and
It's the Wilder and the winner of the Ruiz or
what's his name?
Joshua.
Who is he? Who is he? Horton. Big white guy.
Oh, you talking about
Terrible. The gypsy.
Ruiz? Are you talking about Ortiz?
Dude.
Oh, you talking about Tony?
Fury?
Fury.
Yeah, Fury. Tyson Fury.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
We went for an hour and a half, man.
that's
Did we?
awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Hour and a
Who's
half.
talking? Cool.
All right. Horton, man. We appreciate you being available, man. And being
Man,
a
no
real
problem.
Clique fantasy member. And being a real
Committed to
friend,
this league.
Yes,
unlike
sir.
others
Yeah.
who aren't committed.
Hey, I'm down anytime. Just let me know.
We know it, man. We know you're down. We understand other people had legit reasons, and then we also understand there's others like Moniz. So
Horton, I'll get week 3 in here.
Yeah.
That's the bet, my
Today,
man.
tomorrow.
Me too. I'm Kansas City gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to see what I can do with them.
Ooh, I'll be interested in seeing what happens there.
Dude, Clique Fantasy Football Podcast. Brought to you by Mad Men
and Madden apparently,
and Madden.
and Cherry Coke.
Don't forget,
Mountain Dew. That's
official
what we
drink of
needed,
the league,
man.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. That's what we needed.
That's Pepsi versus Coke, dude. That's bad news.
So,
All right.
all right. Our first one's in the
Commish,
books,
thanks,
man.
man.
Our first one's under
Hey.
under a belt.
Yes, sir.
Fun, fellas.
All right.
All right, Horton, man. Appreciate it, man. We'll holler at you.
See you, Horton.
All right.
All right, Horton.
All right. Thanks, guys.